afternoon. Today, I'm Nikita Sarana along with Purva Dholakia, students of first semester B.K.School of Professional and Management Studies. Welcome, the galaxy of intellectuals, Your Excellency. Welcome you all. Welcomes the galaxy of intellectuals, Your Excellency, invited guests, and all participants. Paulo Coelho said, if you are brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with new hello. So, with these words, I heartily welcome you all to this bittersweet occasion of Valedictory of INYS 2021. Bitter as we are heading towards the end of this grand symposium. And this year, we were unable to meet physically, but sweet as even after with these many barriers, we are able to share knowledge, we are able to exchange ideas, and these things have not been hampered even in these difficult situations. So, I want everyone to give a warm round of applause to begin the symposium's valedictory session. Now, I proceed for anthem of our prestigious Gujarat University, an institute which has given excellence in education to our society since its establishment in 1949. Few of our university's alumni, including Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, Malika Sarabhai, Kuchipuri and Bharatanatyam dancer, Ashish Nandej, political psychologist and social theorist, and Pankaj Patel, CEO of Kedala. Here is our university song.
वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी आपणी गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी आपणी विद्यार्थणु तपोवन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन
राष्ट्र चेतना कला साधना खेल भावना विकसे
विश्व मानवी बनी गुजराती विश्व सकल माविल से स्नेह संप सहकारनी साथे देती तू सन्मति सौना साथ ने संगाते सौ सिद्ध करे उन्नति प्रेम बंधुता समानताना पल पल प्रसरे स्पंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन वंदन अभिनंदन
So now, I would like to tell you something about our institution. B.K. School of Professional and Management Studies, Department of Gujarat University, established in 1976, is one of the oldest and eminent B schools of Gujarat state. The school has been whetting human as well as intellectual skills of new breed of dynamic managers ever since. BK has acquired a unique position in list of top B schools with attributes like excellent curriculum, experienced faculties, industrial exposure, strong alumni network, academia industry interface. So, here we present a video portraying life at our institution.
Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam.
Meaning integrating skill in action. This is the motto of the Glory of Gujarat, that is, the Gujarat University. Taken from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, this motto truly amplifies the soul of the university. Shining like the crown of the vibrant state of Gujarat, Gujarat University has been following the path of excellence throughout its glorious journey in providing the best quality higher education.
योग कर्म
Thank you so much. Let us begin the valedictory session of the INYS 2021 with the presence and blessings of the Lord Almighty. As we all know that light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity, and with the same positivity, before we go ahead with our ceremony, let us invoke the energy by lighting of the lamp.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Today, we are delighted to have with us Dr. Srinivasan R. Iyengar, Sir, is Associate Professor at Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, University of Mumbai. Sir, we welcome you. Dr. Prabhat Pankaj, Director, Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur University. Sir, we heartily welcome you. We have with us Professor R. M. Pant, Director, National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj of Northeastern Regional Center, Guwahati. Sir, we welcome you. We have with us Dr. Pankaj Shukla, Senate and Syndicate Member, Gujarat University, Academic Planning Board Member, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Open University, and B.K.School, Gujarat University. We have with us Dr. Jagdish Bhavsar, Pro Vice Chancellor, Gujarat University. We have with us Dr. Mukesh Sehgal, Chairman, Sri Siddhivinayak Education Trust and Institute. And of course, our Neelam ma'am, Dr. Neelam Panchal, Associate Professor, B.K.School of Professional and Management Studies, Coordinator, Department of Public Policy and Governance.
Now, to welcome you, everybody, and for the welcome address, I would like to call upon Dr. Neelam Panchal. Dr. Neelam Panchal is an associate professor at the B.K. School and in charge of the Department of Public Policy and Governance, B.K. School, Gujarat University. Ma'am is coordinating courses like MBA in Public Policy Management, in Business Economics and Public Finance, in Event Management, and also is the coordinator of PG Diploma in Public Finance and Economics, Public Policy Management under the umbrella of B.K. School of Professional and Management Studies. During the course of her career, ma'am has completed the Faculty Department Program in Management from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management and has done specialized programs and management teachers programs and FDPs at IIM Kolkata, IIM Bangalore, IIM Indore, IIM Noida, MDI Gurgaon, to name a few. Dr. Panchal is the chairman of Indian Society for Training and Development. She has conducted employee development, management development, faculty development, and women development programs for executive and middle level managers of different organizations like Kohler India, GNFC, PI Industries, Classic Hotels, Zindal Industries, Babina Diagnostics, Asian Paints Limited, and Cadilla, to name a few. Ma'am has published more than 120 research articles and more than 20 books. She has developed course materials and cases for the postgraduate courses of MGN, CRE, Government of India. She has developed 5 MOOCs and more than 130 e-content modules on various subjects of management, which is a part of the Swayam Prabha DTH channel devoted to telecasting of high quality educational programs. Ma'am has been the convener of the youth symposiums every year since 2016 at international level in the Gujarat University. Ma'am, over to you. Kindly grace us with your words. Thank you.
We start with International Youth Symposiums with the promises and with the cooperation of and with the permissions of the director of B.K.School, vice chancellors, registrar Shri, and the authorities of the Gujarat University. Every year, with that permission, we are organizing the sixth International Youth Symposium. I, on behalf of B.K.School of Professional and Management Studies, welcome Dr. Prabhat Pankaj, Director, Jaipuriya Institute of Management, Rajasthan, India. I welcome Dr. Srini Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, University of Mumbai, India. I welcome our Honorable Director, Dr. Pratik Kanchan. I welcome Dr. Pankaj Shukla, Senate and Syndicate Member, Gujarat University, and in the board of BAAU and B.K. School of Professional and Management Studies, Gujarat University. I welcome Dr. M.K. Sehgal from Haryana. I welcome Dr. Jagdish Bhagsar, Co-Vice Chancellor of the University. I welcome and all the faculty members, all the student members, all the faculty members who are associated with this program. This program is a 2 days program, and yesterday we had 140 papers that has been presented from different fraternities of the faculty and students across the globe. So we had 6 tracks, and parallelly in 6 tracks we had presentations. Today morning we had a wonderful roundtable discussion that was on sustainable development and way ahead. And like that, in this 2 days program, there were not many ideas from the participants across the globe, which includes the South Africa, USA, Japan, Canada, and many more other countries. So in totality, in this youth symposium, there were 140 articles that has been presented, 120 papers that has been published in the 3 books that is by the Himalaya publication, and selected articles has been be sent to the journals. The declaration of the same would happen in the prize distribution ceremony. So, like this, we are trying to give a platform to Manalians, the youth across the globe, and the faculty fraternities so that the ideas regarding development of the sustainable development goals across the globe, which is a very, very important to achieve. So, what is the achievement? What is the roadmap? And where we want to go forward so that we all at a globe can solve our different problems, which are development goals as well as this year, the theme is on reinventing business management practices when the whole world has gone into pandemic and when the things were not in our hand, what to do and how to take the steps. No doubt we have come over. But like this, if any pandemic comes, then how to go ahead and how to reinvent the management practices across the globe. And that is why the theme is selected like this. So I hope in this 2 days symposium, all the participants who have joined, they have contributed to some better and a major conclusion which we can suggest to the policy makers and that can be taken into decision. With that is the purpose of the Global Youth Symposium. I, once again, on behalf of the B.K. School of Professional Management Studies, welcome you all and thank you all. Why? Because you have devoted your valuable time for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Neelam ma'am, for your warm welcome to everybody. Now it is time to welcome our guest, Dr. Srinivasan R. Iyengar. Dr. Iyengar is an associate professor at the prestigious Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, University of Mumbai, India. Dr. Iyengar is currently an associate professor in the area of strategic management and marketing at the Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management, Department of Management Studies, Mumbai University, and Sir is a visiting faculty at IIM Indore and Sambalpur. Sir holds a PhD degree in management from Mumbai University. His areas of interest are strategic management, international business, retail shoppers' behavior. He has more than 20 years of experience in corporate and academics, and he is an approved PhD guide in the area of management and is guiding more than a dozen PhD research scholars. Sir is a member on the advisory board of Journal of Business Retail and Marketing Business Management, Journal of Development Research. He is editor-in-chief of Journal of Indian Retail. He has received few awards of recognition of his academic excellence from Higher Education Forum, Rajiv Gandhi Award from Indian Solidarity Council. He has also authored few textbooks, few are mail management, strategic retail management, and cases in retail management. Sir is consulted by organizations in the area of strategy as an independent director. Sir, a very warm welcome to you and over to you to grace us with your kind words. Thank you.
I think Sir is facing some network issues. So till then, I'd like to introduce Dr. Prabhat Pankaj. Sir is a postgraduate in economics and PhD in applied economics. Sir is a university gold medalist in graduation as well as post graduation. Sir has been teaching economics for about 30 years in universities and B schools in India and abroad. Sir has won many prestigious fellowships of Indian government and has undertaken various research and assignments in Europe, Thailand, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, to name a few. Dr. Prabhat has obtained executive education in management and leadership in higher education at Harvard University, Boston, USA. Dr. Prabhat is an inquisitive person and a profound researcher. With a firm belief in creative and innovative thinking, Sir is an avid trainer and resource person on effective teaching, teaching leadership, student centric teaching and learning, effective student engagement, outcome based education. Sir is an expert on Bhutan's economic and social development and is well networked in Bhutan throughout the country. Sir is a keen researcher and resource person on subject of economics of happiness. He writes in Times of India and Economic Times. Dr. Prabhat was an invitee at World Government Summit 2019, Dubai, the Ministry of Happiness, UAE. Sir has been teaching a course on happiness and well-being to management students. Definitely, sir, a need of ours. Dr. Prabhat is serving as director of Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur Indian Institute at Jaipur. Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad has written a case study on Jaipuria Institute of Management focusing on student engagement, which Sir has initiated at Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur. Dr. Prabhat also delivers workshops and sessions on higher education and student learning. Sir, we are all ears for your motivating and wise words.
So first of all, let me make sure that I'm visible and my voice is clear.
Definitely, you are visible.
Yes, sir, you are visible and your voice is
All
audible.
right. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Nikita, for a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much for that. I would like to express my gratitude to begin with to Dr. Neelam Panchal, and she's the one who contacted me and invited me to this occasion. For this opportunity, I would like to thank you, Dr. Neelam, Dr. Jagdish Bhavsar, Pro Vice Chancellor. Very good morning to you, sir. I can see a lot of distinguished panelists over here in this particular session. Dr. Pankaj Sukla, Dr. Srinivasan Iyengar, Dr. Rajiv, Dr. Sehgal, Dr. Purva, and a very good afternoon to all of you. And my greetings to all the participants, the delegates, the students who have participated in 6th International Youth Symposium. The topic that you have picked up for this symposium is very, very relevant and very, articulated. You're talking about reinventing management practices, which is the call of the day, and definitely we must consider reinventing the management practices. In the post-pandemic world, everything has changed, and Dr. Neelam has rightly pointed out that it has actually changed the lives all across the globe. It also had changed the practices all across the globe. It has also changed the way we conduct our business all across the globe. It has also changed the way we teach. It also changed the way we engage. It also had changed the way we look at each other. So, it has actually touched all fibers of life. Uh, when I remember my days when I started, uh, learning how to do cycling, I used to fall quite a lot. I remember, but over time, after lots of fall from the cycle, everybody does that. When you start learning cycle, you know. Uh, And one day I realized that the best way uh, to keep balance on the cycle and not to fall is to run the cycle all the time. But the cycle is running, there is less probability that I will fall. But if the cycle is slow and stopping, there is a more probability that I will fall. It's a great learning. And when I look back, I find that it has got so much of implications for all of us. We have to keep on reinventing ourselves. And therefore, this is the only way we can sustain. And talking about sustainable future is again a very right priority that all of you have actually set for. Addressing youth is again a very important, and I congratulate all of you to name it like International Youth Symposium, because if you look at the number of youth, the demographic dividend, and the year 2025, especially if you look at after which the demographic dividend is going to recede, the window of opportunity to groom our youth is very, very limited for us. And it's very important that we address our youth in variety of manners. So any such occasion which actually focuses on youth, which actually centered around youth, is extremely important. So today, I would like to address our youth in general, and I'll talk about three things to them. To cut the long story short, if I get some another opportunity to come over and meet all of them in Gujarat, B.K. School of Professional Management Studies, I'll be very happy to come over and talk to them. But today I'll talk about three things to them. One, I'm going to talk about why learning is very important for each one of us, and especially for the youth of today's youth. That's the one point I would like to make. The second point I would like to make is there is a job which you have to take, and you have to stand on your feet, and therefore you have to prepare yourself for the job market, which is very competitive and which is changing very fast. So that's the second priority that as an institution also we have. We want to give best of the learning to the student. We want to make our students be employable and take up good jobs so that they can fare well in their life. The third point I would like to talk to them is about the well-being. It's not just about the job. It's about our life. It's about our aspiration. It's about the achieving the full potential as a human being. Uh, you know, the new education policy document has been out, and if you start reading the new economic policy document, if I quote, the first line of the document is, education is fundamental for achieving human potential. And another point it makes is, I quote from the new economic policy, it says the world is undergoing rapid changes in knowledge landscape. If you put them together, you find that there are two things that it actually emphasizes on. One, it says that you have to learn to acquire some gainful employment. So your studies and employment has to be joining hands, and they should not be taking divorce from each other. A second it talks about is that you have the 21st century aspirations. So if you look at the young generations today, they are aspirational generation. They have their own views, they have their own, and then the kind of clarity they have about what they want to do in life is amazing. When I look back my life, when I was at this age, we didn't have this much of clarity. As if you talk to the new generation, and the way they talk, they have the aspirations, they know how to do it, what to do it is very important. And therefore, to start with this, the learning for you is extremely important. So there are two aspects of learning. One is called how you engage yourself. So this is what I'm going to emphasize for you as far as learning is concerned. How you engage yourself. A fully engaged individual is the one who is going to learn better. That's the first presumption I'm going to present in front of you. The second is that when learning takes place, what you do before the learning and what you do after the learning has taken place is also an indicator of how you're going to learn. So students who actually do something in all the three stages of learning, so it's called the learning cycle. So you prepare for your for what kind of session that is being organized, and you do something before you sit in the class and talk to your professor. That is what you do in the pre-phase of the learning. And when learning takes place, then you raise your hand, you ask questions, you interact with your professors, you come prepared, you talk in the class. That's very important for learning. And the third is, after the class gets over, you have your notes ready, and then you start googling, searching little more on these topics, and expand your horizon and take a relook of what has been taught in the classroom. So the students who will actually just come in the classroom and go, their learning will not be more than 10%. That's what we have seen. The student who will engage in the classroom, note down the pointers, talk to the professors and ask questions, their learning can go up to 20-30%. But the student who will actually do some pre-work for the class and also do some post work for the class, you have the chance to take learning almost like 80%. But here is the catch you have to understand, and this catch is for everybody. The research says that what we learn inside the classroom is only 30% of what makes it up for us. As an adult, you and I have actually learned almost like 70% outside the classroom. Therefore, my dear friends, remember this, that learning is not confined only to the classroom. Actually, most of the learnings that we have or we get actually falls outside the classroom. So now how you engage yourself outside the classroom is an indicator of how you're going to learn. And learning has to be transformational. If the learning is not transformational, there is no point in getting education. So what is the fun in getting education and degree if it doesn't transform your life, if it doesn't help you in growing as an individual? And therefore, you have to understand this. Learning has to be made transformational for you. So, you look for transforming yourself, you look for transforming the life of your family, your friend, people around you, and then you look for transforming the whole world. So why not? I mean, you can aim at transforming the whole world. And here comes the second aspect of learning. So first I talked about the engagement. The second is called the impact. If the learning is not actually making impact, either on your own transformation or the transformation of your family or people around you, or you're not helping the transforming the society and the whole country per se, or the whole world per se, there is no point in learning, because the purpose of learning is transformation. If the learning does not bring about transformation, there is no point in learning. And therefore, first point I'm making here is learning is extremely important for you if you really want to be growing in stature and become a human dividend, which is very transformational. So that's the first point. I can talk more on that, but I'm stopping here on the learning. On job, you have to understand the changing contours of the market. So with the pandemic, all of us have gone online, and even people, those who were not willing to go online are now accepted that online is the solution. It's called something like, we call it, in our research, we did that with the faculty, we did that with the students. There is something called Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is about the fact that if you stay with your kidnapper for a pretty long time, then you start understanding your kidnapper, and then finally you also develop some kind of affinity or love for your kidnapper. And there are a lot of movies also made on that. So the question is, the online, when it started, everybody started coming with some kind of argument like, oh, this is not good, this is not going to happen, this is not going to work, there are a lot of problems. So the people started negating. So that was the negation stage. And after that, we lived longer for it because the pandemic continued for a longer time. And then we started finding solutions. And then we said, oh, this can be done, this also can be done, this also can be done. And the third stage we have entered, where we started appreciating. And then we say, okay, oh, online, you started discovering online, and you say, oh, there is a lot of content available online which you otherwise could not have done. And today I'm sitting in Jaipur and addressing you is because of the online facility. So this kind of access to resources was not possible in the physical mode. So online has some affinity developed. So that's why I called it the Stockholm syndrome. So with this, if you look at the future of jobs report, which has been taken out by World Economic Forum, Future of Jobs 2020, you can see it online. What it says is that by 2025, the redundant jobs will go on reducing. So they say that, okay, a lot of jobs which you see currently are going to be redundant, and they have a list of redundant jobs which is going to be phased out gradually. And they said that the pace at which is going to evaporate these kind of jobs are going to be very, very faster the way we approach 2025. But it also says that there are going to be emerging jobs. So there are not a lot of new emerging areas where the jobs are coming. And they said the rate at which the emerging job will increase, it will be faster and faster by every year. So, there is no point in getting depressed by the fact that the technology or the change that is happening around in the business and society is going to take your job. It's going to take one job, but it'll give you three jobs. So it says that 85 million jobs will be lost by 2025, but 97 million job will emerge. But here is a catch that you have to understand. 97 million jobs are not going to come to you just like that. You have to prepare yourself for the job. So, you have to understand the new division of labor. So the earlier the division of labor was very simple. It was between humans and machine, and that's what we have been talking about. But the new division of labor now is between humans, machine, and algorithm. So there is one more partner that has been developed, has been added into it. So no, the new division of labor is among human, machines, and algorithms. So no, you have to lay hands somewhere in it. It's not just sufficient to learn machine. You also have to know how you develop algorithms. So you have to be a little more proactive in understanding the technology. So where are the jobs? But it doesn't mean that all the jobs are going to be in technology driven scenario or human driven skills, or human skills per se does not have any role. It's not like that. So interestingly, 94% of the business leaders in this survey actually said that investing in human potential is going to be beneficial for them. And they said that no, this is going to bring them 65% change in their productivity. So look at what are the 15 skills that this report actually lists. So out of these 15 skills, they're saying that 11 skills are non-cognitive in nature. So when we are talking about algorithm, we are talking about cognitive skills, the knowledge based or technology based skill. Non-cognitive skills are like grit, your attitude, your emotional intelligence, your service orientation, your active learning, your critical thinking. So these are the non-cognitive skills. And they're saying that 11 out of 15 skills which are going to be required by the market, they are non-cognitive in nature. So here lies your opportunity. So human potential is going to be understood in a much better way than it has been understood so far. So any argument people give that the human potential loss of job and human potentials will be reduced to a kind of redundancy and everything will be taken over by the machine. Yeah, of course machine is going to be there, but human potential is going to be more understood and more valued in the new circumstances. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So where are the jobs going to be? So it says that 35% of the jobs are going to be in care economy. Now, care economy is not just machine. It's about human being. So, this is the maximum number of jobs are going to be there in the care economy. 17% are going to be in sales, marketing, content development. It's all human driven. 16% is going to be data, artificial intelligence. 12% is going to be in cloud computing, engineering. 10% is going to be in product development, and 8% is going to be in people in culture and green professions. So understanding the environment is very important. So that's the scenario of the job market. And you know what to do. You have to develop your skills. You need to actually do something which impacts the whole world. I'll just give you one example to make you aware about what I'm saying when I'm saying impact. So there was a girl in my institute, and when she was interviewed for the final placement, her whole interview was on the blog that she has created. So what is the blog that she has created? She actually created a blog in which she was actually writing the review of the hotels in the Jaipur city. So she will visit a hotel, and then she will write a restaurant, and then she will write a review of that. What is the environment over there? How is the quality of food? How is the service like? And she will also give some kind of suggestions. So over time, her blogs has become very popular. A lot of people started looking at that before they go to restaurant. So restaurant people actually used to invite her, offer free food, and ask them to do the review. And they've also agreed to the fact that because of her suggestions, a lot of improvements in the restaurant business that has been done. So she actually, through blog, she has created an impact on the improvement of restaurant in the city. That's called impact. That's called impact. If you have some kind of impact like this, impact story that you can share, your life is going to change, and a lot of people will be looking forward to such kind of potential in human being. This is what I mean to say by impact. Now, coming back to the last aspect that I would like to talk about is called well-being. Now, well-being is very important aspect because mental well-being is being talked about, and you can see the cases of suicide, and a lot of things are happening. In the age of pandemic, mental well-being is extremely important. So here I would like to refer to one study which is done by a very famous psychologist. He's a clinical psychologist, David Richardson. And there is another study which was done by Harvard University. It has been done over 70 years. This study continued, and there are 3 generations of researchers that have gone into doing this study. So it's a very powerful study. They tracked the life of people in Harvard right from 19-year age to the time they died, and they tracked so many lives. So this is one of the largest study, a longitudinal study which is available to us. So what does this study say? So in nutshell, I would like to give you 4 mantras. You can keep it as a mantras, if you like. But I'm just going to talk about 4 things that comes out of this study as far as well-being is concerned. So it talks about PQ. So PQ is called the physical quotient. So the study says that the people in their 30s, 40s, and even 50s, those who have actually given something like half an hour, 20 minutes, 1 hour to some exercise in their life, like simple walking or running or playing, any physical exercise or any physical activity, people who have actually given 30 minutes at least to this every day are the one who actually aged better and who lived longer and lived happily. So, this is the clue. So it's not the childhood that decides how you're going to age. It's the mid-age which decides how you're going to age. And in the mid-age, if you devote some 30 minutes to physical exercise when you are in 30s, 40s, your life is going to change. That's what this study says. So PQ. Then it talks about IQ. IQ is called intelligent quotient. So it talks about people who have learning inquisitiveness. Those who have a lot of inquisitiveness to learn a lot of things. So I want to learn this, and I want to learn that, and goes on, and it never says no to learning. So a lot of inquisitiveness with which they approach learning. They think that the learning is very important, and keep on learning is important. So such people, actually those who believed in it, are the one who are better people, better happy people, and they also lived longer. So there is a correlation that was found. Both the graphs of learning aptitude of the people and the longevity, they were found positively correlated. So that's very extremely important finding for us. So as an individual, if you're inquisitive, if you want to learn new things, you have a better chance that your mental health is going to be better and you will live longer. The third thing that you talk about is called emotional quotient. Now, emotional quotient is about, very interesting thing. It's about, the fact that, there are several forces that shapes our mind. But how many forces do we know that is shaping our mind? Our knowledge about those forces are very limited. But thousands and thousands of forces are shaping our mind, but we do not know much about them. So people who actually do very mindfully looked at all these forces which is shaping their mind, and people who do not care about the forces or do not try to understand those forces which are shaping their mind, there is a big difference in the mental status of these two people. So Richardson actually sent one questionnaire, one question to all the clients. The first question he asked to the people, to the clients, is that what are you doing right now? That's a very simple question he asked. What are you doing right now? So people answered that I'm doing this, I'm doing that. For example, if I ask you, what are you doing right now? Then you will say, oh, I'm participating in, INYS 2021, and I'm listening to Dr. Prabhat Pankaj. So that's what I'm doing. So what are you doing right now? The second question he asked was very important. The second question asked was that, where is your mind right now? Oh, that's where the difference is. So, if this question was asked to people, a staggering number of 50%, almost like 50% of them said that their mind is not exactly on what they are doing right now. Their mind is somewhere else. Say, for example, you are actually listening to Dr. Prabhat Pankaj, but your mind is not on Dr. Prabhat Pankaj. You are actually thinking about something else. So your mind is so wandering, is actually going in thousands of directions, but it is not focusing on what you are doing right now. That is what EQ is all about. So they said mindfulness practice is very important. You have to control your mind. You have to develop that resilience of controlling the mind. One way to do this is adopt the approach where you start responding to any situation rather than reacting to the situation. Say, for example, the pandemic has come. Many of us will say, oh, is the doomsday coming? I mean, why in my life only? It has ruined my life. I don't know what will happen. So this is one way of thinking about pandemic. Another way of thinking about pandemic is that, oh, what a wonderful opportunity. So I have got so much of time. I never got in my lifetime to sit at home and talk to my family. So I'm going to connect this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to utilize this time this way. So I'm, building myself during this pandemic. So these are the two different. So one mindset is a good emotional quotient. The other one does not have that kind of emotional quotient. So that's what EQ is all about. SQ, that is the last thing that he talks about, the fourth pillar of healthy mind. SQ is called the spiritual quotient, and the spiritual quotient is not about religiosity or you being religious. What SQ means is, let me just give you one example. So I have a doctor friend, and I asked him, let's say, what are you doing? He said, oh, I treat diabetic patient. He is a successful doctor. He earned a lot of money. He's a wonderful doctor, and people go to him. He's an expert. He is a successful individual. Here is another doctor, my friend, and I asked him, what are you doing? He said, I'm a doctor. I treat diabetic patients. He's also a successful doctor, and a lot of people come to him. He has earned a lot of money in his life. But he also said, along with that, look, what I'm trying to do is that in the next 6 months, I'm trying to see that, in my locality, I want to eradicate this, disease completely. So I'm going to work on that. And in the next 2 years, I'm trying to see that my city is free from diabetics. Who is going to be a better, happy person who will live longer and with a healthy mind? Is the second one who will live longer. And therefore, there are 4 pillars of your healthy mind, as I have spoken. One is called, I'm just summarizing it for you. That's my last part of my talk. One is awareness. Are you aware about the present circumstances? So, or do you live in past? Do you live in future only? So, past is the source of all kinds of, wandering, the kind of, anxiety that you have in the present. But interestingly, look at this, when do you talk about the past? You talk about the past in the present. And when you talk about the future, you talk about future in the present. Therefore, what it says is that your awareness about the forces that is shaping your mind, your learning, your awareness, your consciously looking at those factors, living in present, not reacting, responding is going to be the key factor for your mental health. That's one. Second, connection. After awareness is connection. Connection means, do you have somebody to talk to? What I mean is that, do you have somebody who you can ring or give a call, maybe 12:30 in the night or 2 a.m. in the morning, because there was something that you wanted to, that has come to your mind, which is very disturbing you, and you wanted to speak it out with somebody. So can you actually give a call to someone? And he is also going to pick your call, and he will talk to you for half an hour, 1 hour, and he gives you the time, and he listens to all the scrap that you want to share with him. Do you have this kind of friend with you? So the study says that if you have actually this kind of connection created in the social arena, you are going to be, your likelihood of being a better happy person or mentally strong person is higher in comparison to people who have not created this kind of connections. So social connection, socially connectedness is very important. The third is insight. Insight is a very important factor, because how you create the narrative for it. Everybody has a narrative for himself or herself. So what is your narrative? Is your narrative about yourself positive narrative, or is it a negative narrative? Negative narrative means that, no, I cannot do this, it's beyond my control, let somebody else do it. Escapist kind of narrative that you have about yourself, whether you are in working field or you are a student. You always try to escape things and don't want to do it yourself, and you think that you're no good, you cannot do much. That's the narrative. Another narrative could be, oh, even if it is difficult, I can try. This I can try. At least I will learn something. Oh, I'm the one who can do it. Yes, I will do it. Or if your teacher says in the classroom, who will have the answer? You raise your hand, even though you don't have the right answer. You try and explain something to your teacher. And if there is an opportunity to get onto the stage, you're the one who actually comes first and get onto the stage. You're always willing to do things. You're always willing to try it out. So if you have this kind of narrative for yourself, you are a better person in terms of mental health. You're also going to live longer. You're going to be much happier in life. The last one, purpose. The last one is purpose. The purpose is very important, because we are human being, aspirational human being. Every human being has aspiration. It's not just about getting job and a salary, a family. It's not about that. It's much beyond that. And that beyond is actually comes from purpose. People with purpose in life are less likelihood to die after 60. That's what the Richardson study says. The Richardson study says that after retirement, that is 60, people dying in the next 5 years, their likelihood is much less if the purpose, if this purpose, this person has a clear purpose, and this person does not have a clear purpose. So he defines this in a very, very important way. So I'm going to conclude here and stop here. So I'm just reiterating the point: awareness, connection, insight, purpose. PQ, IQ, EQ, SQ. So this is how life is all about. So your learning is going to define who you are and how you're going to live life. Your job, your ability to acquire the job will depend upon how you adapt your learning. Your well-being is going to depend upon how you understand the factors which are shaping your mind. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope I made some sense. Thank you so much, Dr. Neelam. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prabhat, for referring and addressing to some very new topics and some topics that are call of the hour today. And thank you also for the 4 mantras they gave you. I'm sure they are going to enlighten and help each and every one of us here. Now, if Dr. Srinivas Iyengar has joined us, sir, I would like to request you to continue with the session.
Fantastic. Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are. Please continue.
Am I audible? Fantastic.
Yes,
yeah,
sir,
good
you
afternoon
are.
to everyone. Yeah, thanks, Dr. Neelam Panchal ma'am, for inviting, and Honorable Vice Chancellor and the other expected invitees. It's my pleasure to discuss about the topic which very need of the time, reinventing business model. Fortunately, we floated this course in couple of IIMs. Is one of the flagship course also. How to reinvent your business. So, is it necessary to reinvent the business? Because today, COVID, most of the companies try to reinvent themselves as a business model. Because COVID gave opportunity to most of the industries. How they reinvented the businesses. COVID, slowdown, meltdown, recession. These are the great opportunity. If we see the history, world-class companies started during this turbulent time. So this is the great time to reinvent. Every businesses need to be reinvented. For an example, if you might ask the reason why business need to be reinvented. Because today, if we talk about the impact of digitization, the Schumpeter theory of economic development talks about the entire business model which we have done last 15, 20 years is replace the conventional businesses. Earlier days, the life of the business was long. Almost every business used to survive for 50 to 60 years, especially when they use the different businesses, whether it's the water, energy, wind, turbine, petrochemicals. These all the industry were survived for almost 60 to 80 years. But the last 50 years, if you see, late 60s, electronics, telecommunication, later late 90s, which has started, almost replaced the earlier businesses what you had done before. For an example, if I ask you how many people been to your branch of your bank more than 3 times in last 3 months, you can ask this question. Probably you'll come to know. Everybody will say almost none, except those who are not working in a bank. Even today, working in a bank, people also work from home sometimes. Today, people are not going to the branches. Now, what will happen to the future of the bank? Because the strength of the bank earlier days, the number of branches. But today, the number of branches may not be the good strength for the bank because people doesn't go to the branch at all. Even if they have any difficulty, they used to solve the problem through call centers. Today, mobile banking, internet banking, e-banking is replaced the conventional banking system. So what will be the future of bank? Branch, the strength of the branch became branch is moving to branchless. Almost if you see every businesses today, what's happening it the innovation and entrepreneurship plays vital role almost in all businesses. How they can able to introduce a new product, or is there any new production process, or is there any new supply processes, right? And these are all the way where you can find some new innovations happening according to Schumpeter theory of innovation. How entrepreneurs can drive a role into this. We are moving to gig economy. We are talking about scarcity to surplus economy. Take the example, the product like Oyo rooms. I'm giving just an example like Oyo rooms, Uber, Ola. What is their business model emerges? And even today, if we talk about their core business, if we talk about Uber, their core business is not in mobility. They are in a business of data analytics. If we talk about the business of McDonald's, their business in property. Today, every business is emerged, and Amazon started from selling to book, but today you can see A to Z everything in the Amazon platform. So today, what's happening in the business? Completely transformation. See the Oyo rooms. Earlier days, to start up a one hotel to rooms, India's pioneer hotel is Tata Hotel. How many rooms keys they have? After doing a business of almost, you can see, almost 80, 90 years. The rooms which is started today, Oyo rooms, we are not talking about whether are they profitable, is the business model is emerging. That is a different topic altogether. But we are discussing about how the trends were changing in the business, how the new businesses are coming into that. Geo, you see that how Geo platform, is it a telecommunication company? Till today, they never mentioned they are in a telecom because they are in a business multiple. I'll explain to you in the later. Recently, I written case study, which is also published in IV. End of this month, it will be available in our website. How this company completely transformed. That's what we talk about. These all the emerging businesses are completely dependent on technology. How they could able to roll up with help. See that world class companies. Today they become bankrupt. Nobody could thought Blockbuster, one of the 38 billion turnover in 2008, in the year 2012, that complete Blockbuster became bankrupt. When you talk about the Blockbuster, they said Netflix, we never treat them as a competitor. But today you see Netflix valuation has gone into more than 100 billion. Same thing which happening with Nokia, world-class company. Out of 11 mobile which sold in India, 11 mobiles are from the companies of Nokia. Today Nokia became almost, what is the story? Today one company having a multiple brand could able to survive in the world, whether it's the Oppo, Vivo, OnePlus or Realme, right? All the four brands owned by the same company. Today we are in a different business altogether. One company used to become competing almost all the businesses. Started selling from book. Today you see how Amazon moving into Amazon Pay. How they are could able to Amazon could able to into Amazon Prime. See that how companies are diversifying it. Today the conventional four P's are dying. The conventional four P's, what we teach, product, price, place, promotion, absolutely needs to be reinvented if you want to survive in today's business. The first P, product, we don't talk about product, we talk about solution. How we can able to give solution to the customer through the product. Address the solutions. For example, why, if you want, I can go a little bit elaborate on this particular topic. How we can able to make a solution. Today, if we give shampoo to the customer may not buy the shampoo. Today, customer wants dandruff. Today, people are hair strengthening, hair lightening. You see how many products are coming within shampoo. 20 years before, we never used shampoo as a category. But today, you see how many hundreds of companies emerged as a product. Today, after shampoo, conditioner also come into the picture. Why more segments are required in these customers? Why there is more solution need to be addressed? Because today's scarcity of time. Earlier also 24 hours, today also we have 24 hours. But if you see the customer lack of time today, they don't have a timing to browse the products. They want every products ready made. For an example, earlier days yoga restricted to certain people, certain religion, certain community. But how today yoga has, evolved over a period of time. Today yoga for male is different from female. There is a yoga for kids is different. Yoga for morning and afternoon and evening is different. In fact, if you see yoga for animals also come up. If I told all these 7 titles, you can check it out in Amazon. Every books are available. There is a specialty segments are come. Even yoga for pregnant is different from normal. See that how business is evolving and people are focusing more and more solution based rather than just offering a product. Even Michael Porter talks about in his recent paper how smart products are replacing the conventional products. Because today, if you give the normal product, customer doesn't want to buy. What is smart product? For example, today MG Moraj carriages, and 90% people doesn't know there's a brand owned by Chinese, right? Seoul Automobile. That's what the SAIC Motors. Today, MG Motors have more internet inside the car. People might ask why there is internet required in the car. But today, if we say talk about every product as enabled with Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, internet, and you should talk with multiple stakeholders. Today, the tractors, I'll give you another example, farm equipments. If we talk about farm equipments, the tractor should have hardware, software embedded with technology. Why? Because the farmer doesn't use only tractor for plowing purpose. It should predict that weather, the quality of soil, quality of seed production, how they can able to interact with multiple stakeholders. If I'm a tractor manufacturer, along with the tractor, I should give bundle the products. It is also happened with Bablot. It is also happening with Louis Vuitton. Today, if you see most of the companies which is emerging and they try to focus to try to give the product multiple enabled embedded products to the customer, completely driven by technology. You can see how the companies are today emerging, how they could able to give the product as a free and could able to become top Fortune 500 company in the world. The conventional companies couldn't able to do the way the companies were emerged, whether it's a Facebook or Google or Instagram or WhatsApp, or you can see all the companies. The world-class companies like a Kotak became bankrupt, right? Nobody could thought of it. And Jim Keynes, when he was saying about the blockbuster, nobody could believe. And how the Geo could able to during turbulent time across the world, if you see today because of COVID, but today you can see how Geo could able to bring during the COVID period 1.5 months more than 1.5 lakh crore. Because Geo is not a product as a just telecommunication. They are in the business of experiment, entertainment, payment gateway, and you can see the e-commerce, and they are also in the medical, they are also in the healthcare, they are also in the part of agriculture, and they are also there in the part of smart cities, and they are also part in this manufacturing. How they can able to evolve all the products because they could able to get into blockchain, the new future business. They're talking about data analytics. And they're also talking about that, right? The connectivity dreams and apps and content they are developing it. That's why the company is emerging. Why the product Geo? Because the near future, oil is no more going to be the great business. If you see the word Geo, it is a mirror impact of oil. You can see the word. That's why the word, because the company could able to predict themselves near future, the data is going to be the business. The data is going to be the future business, and the company could already able to move their businesses into the particular direction. Many companies has done that. How they could able to change their business models, whether it's Ola. When you talk about the world class companies, like, and many companies couldn't able to change themselves. They miserably failed. You can talk about many companies why they are failing because they couldn't able to reinvent their businesses. It could be invention, could be any part. The company's portfolio they can able to do that. See that example. One example I can tell you: the company who invented the computers, IBM, they sold their business unit to Lenovo. What could be the reason? The guy who created the computers, because the company they find there is no real value addition to the company, to the product. See that how Apple evolved over a period of time. They are also in the business. If you see across the world, every computer companies are a miserable business, but Apple could able to transform the business. How they could evolve the product from iMac computers to iPad to iPod to iWatch to iPhone. These are the classic example if you see how the product, because if you see the product like iPod, they are not a first mover advantage in the market. They launched the product in the year 2003. But the real first mover is the company called Kaba and Rio Technologies, which the product is launched in the year 2000. But none of the people in the world doesn't know there's a product called so-called that small wearable device which we can hear the musics. You can see the product how that Apple could able to bring iPod. When they started the product in 2003, the company turnover was 150 billion. Majority sales come through the iPod. iPod is intellectual portable over disk. What made them to successful? Because they could able to connect the product with good hardware and software with the help of good technology called iTunes. And see customer, they found there is a value addition to the product. And that's what today we see the conventional jobs were dying. In fact, earlier professor also talked about the same thing, that today's the business scenario is completely changing. We have to equip the students, which is near future, the conventional businesses, people, or even the education system may not fit into that. I'll give another example. Today, anybody is buying a four-wheeler with the help of salesman. Anybody buy the four-wheeler car, do you think are they buying because of the effectiveness of salesman? Not at all, right? If you see today the business people in the aviation, air hostess, the conventional job of customer service, but today it is moved to complete to sales. They know how to manage the cash at the age of 35,000 feet, height of the 35,000 feet, they know how to handle the cash. They are supposed to bring the sales skill. So we are moving towards data, analytics, blockchain, research, completely into complete the new emerges businesses. Because people used to say that Sony. Recently, last month, when I saw Sony is launching a four-wheeler. Earlier, they were the OEM supplier to the vehicles. But today, Sony himself is launching a four-wheeler. See the company, how Tesla as the brand evolved. From where to where? Elon Musk, not an engineer, but he could be able to generate the future vehicle. Started from, payment gateway, PayPal, to Solar City, to SpaceX, to Tesla. Completely EV operated vehicle. Now they are starting a mobility businesses in Bangalore. So today we are getting into gig economy. Everybody moving into temporary employment. But you can see the complete job scenario is going to change. The complete job portfolio also is going to change. I hope you have already experienced, right? How that COVID taught us something new during the turbulent time. Everybody performance is improved relatively in the businesses. The conventional job 9 to 5 sales job in HUL, today they are allowing to work from home, and end of the day the performance is improved. That is important. During the turbulent time, India is not in the picture of PPE kits. Today, Reliance took over the brand Alok Industries, and today India is one of the third largest exporter of PPE kits to the world. So turbulent always teaches something new. and reinventing businesses is absolutely necessary. It could be process or product, any type of innovation. You can see how aviation, how automobile, completely transforming their existing businesses to current business scenarios. A company like Raymond's, still we remember, still childhood, complete man. Today they are moving into tailoring solution. They can be, completely the product what we offered earlier days. There is a wonderful opportunities are lined up. We want to reinvent the businesses, very important. We have to talk about customer value proposition, very, very important. When you talk about value proposition, we have to talk about profit formula. And we also talk about key processes and key resources. These are the four pillars if you want to reinvent any businesses. Right? I'm happy the way I could able to share some basic introductions, but we are offering this course into complete full credit course in IIMs, how to reinvent your businesses, how we are moving to demand to oversupply, right? And the key drivers of value, how people could able to add more value because of today technology, digitalization, just in time, hyper customization. You can see how the success is coming into the business. And really thanks for the great opportunity for the wonderful session. Thank you, Dr. Neelam Lal, for offering this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for addressing us with all the knowledge and for sharing your ideas and experiences with us. Now, it's time to welcome Professor Rajiv Mohan Pant. Our honorable speaker, Dr. Rajiv Mohan Pant, has enriched academic achievements as well as quite vast work and administrative experiences. He is the director of National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, Guwahati, since 2nd September 2014 and holds multiple academic degrees, including a PhD as well as FDP from IIM Ahmedabad. He is also a prolific author and has authored 8 books and more than 100 research papers. Dr. Rajiv's professional career began in 1986 as he provided his valuable services in BIT Mesra, Bias Bhimtal, as well as NIFFT and NERIST in Ranchi and Arunachal Pradesh, respectively. Besides teaching, Dr. Pant has been actively completing research activities funded by agencies like MacArthur Foundation USA, Ministry of HRD India. He has delivered lectures and keynote speeches here and abroad and also offers consultancy on behavioral aspects to various organizations. Dr. Pant is the founder head of the Center for Management Studies. His administrative experiences include head of the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, chairman of training and placement, a dean of academics with being a member of the board of management at the NERIST. He has led the Niti Aayog working group on transformational shifting cultivation. Presently, Dr. Pant is involved in the Scientific Advisory Committee of G.B. Pant National Institute of Himalayan Environment and Sustainable Development, Almora. Sir, we welcome you and over to you for enlightening us with some words. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Purvaji. First of all, let me ensure whether I'm visible and I'm audible. Can you hear me
Yes, sir,
clearly?
you're both visible and audible to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Respected Neelam ji, Professor Neelam, all the faculty members of B.K. School of Management, Vice Chancellors, Pro-Vice Chancellors, Director, esteemed delegates. First of all, I would like to congratulate B.K. School of Management for this wonderful initiative, which is proving to be a very sustainable initiative of, encouraging youth for this kind of business activities. This is the 6th International Youth Symposium, and you have already conducted 5 such symposia in the past successfully. So I congratulate you, and also I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to join on this valedictory session. My predecessors, I mean, my previous speakers have already given wonderful insights on the subject, on the topic. I would simply like to add few things just from my own experiences from Northeast India and from other parts of the country where I worked. Uh, we know that every business, no business is immortal. Every business goes through a life cycle. Just a every business goes through a life cycle. A business is introduced, business grows, business reaches this maturity, and finally it starts declining. Professor Srinivasan mentioned that this in fact decline is now coming very fast as compared to the past. So now the thing is how to address this this cycle, how to ensure that we continue to grow, and the only solution is new and improve, come out with new and improved products, invent and reinvent, and then only we can ensure that we remain at the top, our business continues to grow. But the thing is, to invent and to reinvent, we need to have a positive attitude towards changes. I'm tempted to quote this Mark Twain's statement: "Nobody likes change except a baby in wet diaper." We prefer to be in a very, to be in our comfort zone. We don't want change, and this has proved to be quite detrimental for many business organizations. Operating from your comfort zone, it has cost quite dearly to many organizations. We have seen some examples. Till few years back, prior to this new economic policies adopted in India, our roads were dominated by ambassador cars. Hindustan Motor used to be a kind of monopoly organization. But do we see those ambassador cars in the street dominating still? It has changed. Right? Scenario is changing very fast, and we need to accept these changes. We need to accept this reality that unless and until we change ourselves, we invent new things, we reinvent our way of working, we cannot survive in business. So the single mantra is grow or go out of the business. So we need to grow, and to grow we need to invent and reinvent. uh, to ensure sustainability and growth, few things that I would like to add to what previous speakers have mentioned. First of all, complacency doesn't help. I mean, we are having many new concepts like gross national happiness. It's very, very important. We need to be happy. We need to ensure overall well-being. But at the same time, we cannot afford to be complacent. We are in a business. We must ensure that we earn profit. We must ensure that we keep growing. And you must have heard the story of Henry Ford Sr. and his florist friend. He used to buy a bouquet for his wife while returning back from his office, and then one day he asked that florist, "Why don't you expand your business?" He said, "Then what?" And he continues giving him incentive. Then you'll become city leader, you'll become state leader, you'll become country leader, international business you can have. Then he says, "Then what will happen?" Then you'll be happy. And the answer was, "I'm already happy." But this kind of approach, it's good to be happy. It's great to be happy. In fact, ultimate objective should be to ensure overall well-being, happiness and all. But with this kind of very complacent attitude, we cannot expand our business. We cannot grow in business. And if we don't grow, as I said, we grow out of the business. So we have to ensure that to remain happy, we have to ensure sustainable growth, because there is a saying that don't live as if there is no tomorrow, because tomorrow is there. Tomorrow is there, and we have to be equally active in future also. So we have to somehow synchronize our short-term strategies with long-term strategies. Okay, we are doing fine right now, but at the same time, we have to ensure that we continue to excel, we continue to dominate market, right? And another thing that I would like to mention here, that leaders, I mean, to ensure changes successfully in the system, there's a saying that if you don't change, uh, we suffer, we face entropy, right? So change is a must, and to ensure changes successfully, to ensure that we remain in the business, we need to have positive mindset at the top. We need to have very active person sitting at the top, new thinking, fresh thinking at the top all the times. We have, you are in Ahmedabad, and we have a very beautiful institution in Ahmedabad, that is IIM Ahmedabad. I take the story from IIM. Ravi J. Mathai was the first regular director of IIM Ahmedabad. He was brought in with a lot of hopes to develop this institution. And after 5 years, he definitely succeeded in accomplishing the task that was given to him. But then after 5 years, he offered his resignation. Okay? A wonderful, legendary director. After completing 5 years, he offered his resignation, which was not accepted by another legendary personality, Sri Vikram Sarabhai, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, who was the chairperson. Another year passed by, another year passed by. Then finally, Ravi J. Mathai said, "No, I'm going to resign now because we need whatever task was assigned to me, I have already performed. I have given a good start to this institution, but now we need a fresh thinking, fresh person, a new person with fresh thinking who would take this institution from this level to next level." And of course, this time Dr. Sarabhai could not, convince him, and he said, "All right, if you want me to be in IIM Ahmedabad, I'll be here as professor." So he continued to be a professor in IIM Ahmedabad, but next person was brought in to. So every person has a new vision. Especially at top level, we need to have, new thinking, fresh thinking, so that we can give a new dimension to the institution. Same thing happened with Intel. Intel was known for marketing of these microchips, and this legendary CEO of Intel, Mr. Grove, he was instrumental in giving new heights to Intel, as he was instrumental in making these microprocessor, and now Intel is known for microprocessors. So at the age of 62, he decided to call it quits. And he said, "Now I tendered my papers, I want to quit." He could have continued for another 3 years because his normal date of retirement was 65. He could have continued for another 3 years, but he realized that he has already given something really great that he wanted to give, and now next person should come in, and then so he handed the charge to Mr. Barrett. So Mr. Barrett brought in new thinking, and then Intel, of course, is going from achieving new heights. Uh, Another thing that business future business leaders, our young students, need to learn is, you don't take all the profits by yourself. Many times we become very selfish. We think that we have invested money in business, we are doing this business, so all profit is ours. No, we have a team, and we need to share all glories, all profits with our team also. I would like to give example from Gujarat. Okay, I would like to share a very good example from Gujarat. We all know that people of Gujarat are great entrepreneurs, great business people, and this story was in news for quite a few years, 2 3 years back. The story of Sauji Bhai Dholakia ji, the famous diamond exporter. He was making a great profits. He was doing very well. He is a global leader, and he has a big team to look after. His team is helping him in his growth, and he also realized that I also need to ensure that my people are also very happy. So finally, he identified that there are 1,700 people in his team who are contributing for his growth, for the growth of his company. He tried to find out what exactly they need, what they are not having. So after having analyzed, he found out that about 400 people, 400 employees of his organization do not have houses to live in, and about 1,200 people did not have cars. So he decided to let me just so he decided to give these things to his employees. He developed a model uh, so that each and every employee of his company can own a house. Each and every employee can own a car, so that they are happy. Happiness, again, I repeat, is important. Happy people contribute better. So he did that, Sauji Bhai Dholakia, and he's growing like anything. And you try to take his employees to some they will never ever think of joining any other organization. And this is what is basically ensuring a sustainable growth of this Sauji Bhai Dholakia's organization. And when we talk about new and improved, we have to have some kind of USP. Every organization must have some USP. I'll give few examples from northeastern part of the country. USP. You must have heard about this cleanest village of Asia. It's in Meghalaya. It's in Khasi Hills of Meghalaya. The village is called Maulingnong. Maulingnong village. It was a small village. We did a case study in Maulingnong. It's a small village with the total population of around 480 persons and 80 families, and about 60% people were living below poverty line. 60% people in this village were living below poverty line. Then they were celebrating the centenary function of their Presbyterian church, and international media came, and they were quite surprised to see this village quite clean. And then they just use the term, oh, this is the most beautiful village in the Asia. And they picked up this thing and they started marketing this as their USP. And now thousands and thousands of people, lakhs and lakhs of people are coming to see how this small village is maintaining its cleanliness, what model they are following. It has become a center of attraction. People from throughout the globe are coming and staying there and experiencing living in that beautiful village. But then suddenly, of course, today their annual turnover is more than 10 crore rupees. The village where 60% people were living below poverty line, now their annual turnover, I mean, imagine 480 people and the annual turnover of this village is around 10 crores. So now all poverty is gone. Now, seeing the success of this cleanliness USP, other villages in the vicinity have also adopted this. Now they say Rivai village in the just 3 kilometers away from Maulingnong. They have also started maintaining their village very neat and clean, and they are also marketing it as living root bridge with high degree of cleanliness. So now this USP of Maulingnong was getting diluted. They reinvented. They came out with a new model. Now they say cleanest and the most beautiful village. They have already hired a couple of gardeners to ensure that village has round the year blooming flowers. Beautiful flowers. You can, whenever you go, you'll find gardens laden with blooming flowers. So now it is not just most beautiful village, but it's not just the cleanest village, but the cleanest and the most beautiful village. Even villagers, they have this sense, reinvent and remain in the business. That now Maulingnong is has produced a very sustainable model. Another example I would like to give from Northeast again, Kongthong village. Kongthong village again in Khasi Hills, very close to Shillong. It's about 65 kilometers from Shillong. You go there, you visit YouTube, and you would know why this Kongthong village is known for. The USP of Kongthong is they are marketing their cultural uniqueness. It is known as the whistling village. People do not call each other by name. Like I thanked Purva, Nikita is there, but they don't call each other by their names. they have developed a particular tune for each and every individual. Whenever a new person is born, they develop a new tune using their whistling thing. All right, each person, and that tune is unique, and the tune dies when the person leaves this earth. Right, so every individual has a very unique tune for himself, and they call each other by that particular tune. So whistling village, it's a very very unique kind of a thing, and a lot of people were going there, whistling village, to see how people call. I mean, it was a day tourism kind of a thing. People would go and see how people call each other. But now day tourism doesn't help much. Day tourism will not transform the economy. So now they have added new things, homestays. Now, Whistling Village is known for good quality homestays at a very affordable price. So it's a very good business that they are doing. And another example I would like to give, Shiv Khera says, the tagline of Shiv Khera's book, You Can Win, is leaders don't do different things, they do things differently. And I'll give another example from Arunachal Pradesh, the easternmost state of the country. There is a huge production of kiwi there. Many people in Arunachal Pradesh are producing kiwi. And especially during this COVID time, as market was not there, many of them suffered huge losses. There is one lady called Tage Rita. She happens to be my student. I taught her in Nearest, and she happens to be my student. So Tage Rita, realizing that in the absence of market, her kiwis will go waste. And to avoid bumper crop paradox, which affected these farmers in far-flung areas of Northeast, she came out with a new proposition. She started this uh, wine called Nara Aba wine. She started a winery, and I mean, of course, a good quality kiwis were finding market. She was able to sell good quality kiwi outside also, but especially smaller fruits were not having any market. So she developed a winery, and now she's marketing this Nara Aba brand of wine, which is really selling like hotcake. It's a purely organic kiwi wine produced from organic kiwi, right? I mean, one bottle of that wine carries a price tag of around 1,200 rupees, and now demand is exceeding the supply. She's not able to meet the demand, so she has already engaged more than 100 people in her plant. So these are the success stories being scripted even in those nondescript villages. This lady, Take Rita, is from Jiro. I do not know whether you have heard about this place, Jiro, or not. She belongs to Apatani tribe. Okay, she is basically an agriculture engineer. She utilized her knowledge, and she left a government job. After completing a BTech, she joined as assistant engineer in government of Arunachal Pradesh, but she did not enjoy working from this comfort zone. She wanted to have, she wanted to go for bigger challenges, and she started this, and now she's got several awards. Even Niti Aayog has also given her awards. She got Best Entrepreneurs Award of Northeast India. Many now awards are coming in a way like anything. Right? So basically, thinking differently is again very important, and success should never get into our heads. Once we are running a business, of course, why people from Gujarat are ruling global markets, global business. You go to Kenya, go to America, wherever you go, you'll find Gujarati people are dominating business. Why? Because of their humble attitude. They never allow success to get into their heads, and that's the beauty. That is the be humble. That's another lesson. Another thing that I would like to say with the students. Here, I would like to share one incident that was shared by one of my students who joined Infosys about 10 years back. Uh, uh, he was an engineer. He was a graduate trainee. He was taken as graduate trainee in Infosys. And one fine morning, he receives an invitation from the legendary CEO of Infosys that all GTs are invited for dinner. So they all received invitation from Infosys chief, Mr. Narayan Murthy, and they were very excited that they'll get to see Mr. Narayan Murthy, because it's something, such a big personality. They would at least get a chance to have a glimpse of Mr. Narayan Murthy. But to their utter surprise, when they reached there, Narayan Murthy was there to offer plates to them. He was sitting along with the chefs. All right, he was involved. He involved himself in cooking process, and then he offered plates to his young, uh, graduate trainees. That's the humility success people have, and they must have. So. It was really wonderful. I thought I must share this with you all, and uh, allowing your people to grow. We It's the team that ensure our victories. A few years back, during my stint in Birla Institute of Technology, Ranchi, I used to go to telco and disco Jamshedpur quite frequently with my students, and there I learned a small story about that time. Rusi Modi ji was the CMD. Rusi Modi ji was the CMD of this Tata organization. So there was a story about a Khalasi. He was asked by a person, how much important you are for this organization. Reply was, I am very important. You know, then the person asked him, you feel that you are important, but do you think that others also think the same way? If you have some new idea, do you think you can implement your new ideas? He says, yes, very much. If I have a new idea, if I can really contribute for the growth of this organization, I can implement my ideas very nicely. But the press reporter asked him, or the person who was basically talking to that Kalasi asked him, do you think your supervisor will entertain you? He says, if my supervisor doesn't permit me, then I'll go to my manager. And if my manager doesn't permit me, I'll go to senior manager. And then the person who was talking to that Kalasi said, if your senior manager also doesn't listen to you, then what will you do? He says, then Rusi bhai hai na upar. Rusi Modi had developed this guy, had infused this kind of confidence in his people. So it's basically the teamwork, and never we heard of even a single man hour loss in Tata in Disco. If you happen to be in Jamshedpur on 3rd March, you will see how much people love the founder of this Tata Motors, Tata Disco, Tata and Steel Company. It is illuminated, the whole city is illuminated. That's basically the founder's birthday. Right? So the startup organizations have been successful in creating good teams, and they are allowed to grow. People are allowed to grow there, and that's why generations and generations are working. They don't look for any other organization. All those who are working there in Tata's. Right? And quickly, I think my time is. I need to close, and before I close, I would like to give last point. Continue to learn. Continuous learning is very, very important. That helps us in devising new and improved ways to make our business sustainable. uh, GD Birdla ji, in her 90s, decided to learn French language. Someone asked him, Birdla ji, at this age you are learning French language. What is what you're going to gain out of it? He says, I am a part of this global business. If some customers, if my clients from France, they come and interact with me, and if I'm able to speak to them in French, I think we'll be able to develop a better rapport. At the age of 90, in his 90s, GD Birla ji was learning every now and then. right? So it is very important that we learn. To conclude, I'll say all those who read, they lead. So my young student, I stopped here at this point. Okay, I shared few success stories. I shared some experiences that I learned from great personalities. Okay, I think. Thank you very much for giving me patient hearing. And once again, I thank B.K. School of Business Management for giving this opportunity to interact with this enlightened crowd. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing these wonderful anecdotes. You said rightly, we don't want to come out of our comfort zones, but reinvention, new and improved, are the need of our. Thank you so much, sir. Now, now I would like to call upon our honorable chief guest, Dr. M.K. Sehgal. Dr. Mukesh Kumar Sehgal is a distinguished academician, devoted mentor, and consultant with proven leadership qualities. Sir's core area of expertise includes, but not limit, corporate governance, accounting, and financial management. Sir has also been a visiting faculty at IIM Rohtak, Nirma University, and EDI. Sir has also been successfully handling administrative work since last 26 years. Sir is founder CEO cum Director General of Sri Siddhivinayak Ganpati Group of Institutions. Sir has many professional credentials to his credit. Dr. Sehgal is the recipient of coveted award for excellence in teaching from year 2006 by LMA. Sir has published 4 books and number of research papers in various reputed journals. Sir, now I would like to request you to grace us with the kind and motivating words.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're
Yes,
audible.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
First of all, I can say that I am in gratitude and I am obliged to Dr. Neelam, and it's a rare opportunity. And we are reinventing ourselves these days through these latest channels that from far off places we are at one place. After listening to legendaries, there have been so many case studies, so much of examples from real practical world. I would only want to convey to the youngsters that they need to be practical. Of course, there is a Google guru. Of course, there are management schools. Of course, there are elders who can guide us, who can inspire us, who can regulate us, who can manage us. But we have to be passionate in implementation, not just saying the words. Swami Vivekananda said, what a man thinks, he becomes. And I am from Haryana, so I would like to request you to follow karma theory, Bhagavad Gita in the real management. Sometimes we talk about real, REEL, but we have to be real, REAL. My submission is very clear that actions speak louder than the words. We have to speak, speak, and speak. But in practice, if we don't do, we would not be remembered, we would not be recognized, we would not be awarded. With the spirit of excellence, ethics, and to promote the leadership in the youngsters, we have to consistently work, perform, and excel. I already stated that you have got so much of examples from distinguished scholars. It has also been said that the success should not go to head. Tolerance is very much required, and attitude needs to be positive. It is, everyone knows, but how much we implement? That's the question. In India, we have great examples that how can we learn in life? How can we achieve glory? It's not just success. It's not just satisfaction. It's the consistent path of struggle. It's not that manzil that us give us satisfaction. It's the way, it's the rasta. Like I say time and again, I'm sharing with you, मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती हैं जिनके सपनों में जान होती है. पंख से कुछ नहीं होता, हौसलों से उड़ान होती है. So you have to inculcate the courage and the passion to do the things. And of course, there have been people who say we have to do it differently. That's the reinvention. In this COVID era, I started my own channel, Management Guru Saigal Sir. Earlier, it was not there. So everyone has to reinvent. Everyone has to put the thoughts into practice. Always talk to the people who are failures. You have many, many success stories around you. I remember I was working in University, and we had a EDC, Entrepreneurship Development Cell. Like Modi Saab now introduced Atmanirbhar Bharat, new ministry in the name of Skill India and Entrepreneurship Development. They have also started reinventing from Planning Commission to Niti Aayog, from HRD to education. So many things, Atmanirbhar Bharat. So I was in a presentation in EDI, Ahmedabad of your state, and so many professors from your good institution also worked there and maybe working there now. So after my presentation on entrepreneurship development, as a chief project coordinator, I was giving the annual performance. And some of the experts and also the 20 senior students were studying. They asked me, it's very good that you have given this kind of presentation, but why don't you become entrepreneur? I was not able to sleep for the whole night. That what the hell we give presentations, that this many number of students we enrolled, and this much persons become actually entrepreneurs. But we, the professors, are always thinking that I will lose my salary. I will be having a lot of risk and uncertainty. Although in the initial phases of commerce and management, it is taught that higher the risk, higher the profit. We have to bear the risk and the uncertainties to grow to the top of the ladder. And after that, I thought a plenty and I took the risk. And we started Ganpati group of institutions in Yamunanagar district. And it was an example in Haryana that we started 6 colleges in the first go. 1 engineering college, 2 polytechnic, 2 B.Ed colleges, and a hotel management school. And thereafter, of course, it was a partnership venture because lots of investment was there. And then we started so many other things. We reinvented ourselves. We faced the problems. We understood the challenges of partnership also. Now I am also running 2 CBSE schools. The point I'm making is that we can do it. It's not just industry. It's the service sector also which is growing, which is having more than 50% part of the GDP. I salute the Gujarat and of course your university who have produced luminaries, distinguished people, distinguished students. They may be working all over the world. And such a great opportunity that you are organizing this program to motivate and inspire the young students. There is no mantra. Mantra you have in your heart. And you have to work on that. You have to put everything into that. You may be unsuccessful sometime, but you have to relearn. So it is learning, relearning, and unlearning. The most difficult is unlearning. We have also to unlearn the things, and we have to follow the small principles, like we study 14 principles of management. Effective time management is very much necessary. We need to be always in gratitude, which we lack sometime. and we have to think how best we can perform. This is a very small message from me. In Haryana also, the Haryana government is doing a lot. They have introduced Parivar Pehchan Patra, PPP. Like someone comes from abroad, he says, we have this type of cards. In India, UDI started Aadhaar card. There were lots of objections. So whenever you talk about reinvention, whenever you talk about change, there will be eyebrows, there will be questions, there will be queries. ये नहीं हो सकता, ये तुम कैसे करोगे? और हिंदी में कहते हैं कि काम वो करो कि जो दूसरे कहते हैं कि तुम कर नहीं सकते. और ये दुनिया एक रंगमंच है, ये स्टेज है. या काम ऐसा करो कि स्टेज से नीचे उतरने तक भी आपकी तालियां बजती रहें. The crux of the story is something different. We get lots of information. Our whole WhatsApp is blocked. Our mobile, we are not getting that. How do we, have weekly or monthly clearance of, and we have to enhance our capacities. Like the brain, it is having the limited capacity. So we have to reinvent ourselves. How do we manage the things? How do we do the things? And it's not just copy and paste like we do in computer. It's you have to do, you have to learn yourself, because you are a gem. You are different. You are not same. If Oyo has got success story, if Baidu has got success story, it was not there. So many startups came, maybe 93 to 95% failed. It's not that. Ramvilas Paswan ji started in 1991 through Mandal Ayog. He worked for that. Politics is a different ball game. Education is a different ball game. And there was a model in Gujarat. Why do we study more? We will start a business. It's not there, ladies and gentlemen. We have to study to reach to a level that we understand. How do we understand exim policy? How do we understand budgeting? We need to be masters of different things. It's not that only the financial management will do, or only marketing management will do, only HR management will do. We have to have diversified knowledge and the skill to implement. You learn less, but how do you practice? Maybe 2%, maybe 5%. This 2-day program, you may have got number of scholars. Institution have put lot of labor, and salute to the organizing committee. But if the real thing goes to the students and they get some advantage in the next couple of years, then they will remember it for the life to come, and it's going to be the case study. Not taking much of the time, as I know it's from 1 to 3. I'm really, really obliged and very grateful to the organizers, especially Dr. Neelam, and I can see Purva, Nikita, and all others who may be behind the wall. And I look forward to visit your institute in the future and to work with students and team of faculty. Thank you very much indeed. May God bless you.
उड़ान हौसलों से होती है. A person should never run away from his failures. Thank you so much, sir, for these inspiring words. We are highly inspired. Now, I'll take this opportunity to introduce a Pro Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University, Dr. Jagdish Bhau sir. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
It's enough. हो गया. छठे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय युवा सम्मेलन के समापन सत्र में पैनल में उपस्थित डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन, डॉक्टर प्रभात पंकज, प्रोफेसर R.M. पंत, चीफ गेस्ट डॉक्टर M.K. सहगल, B.K. स्कूल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट के डायरेक्टर प्रतीक कंचन, 2 दिन का ये अंतर्राष्ट्रीय युवा सिंपोजियम, युवा कॉन्क्लेव के आयोजन में लगे कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर नीलम पंचाल, उनकी पूरी टीम, फैकल्टी मेंबर और पूरे विश्व से विभिन्न देशों से जुड़े हुए युवा बंधु भगिनी, आज के सभी वक्ताओं ने विशेष परिस्थिति के अंदर 2 दिन का यूथ मोबिलाइजेशन का यूथ कॉन्क्लेव आयोजित करने हेतु बीके स्कूल को बधाई। मैं भी गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी की ओर से पूरी टीम को धन्यवाद देता हूं। आज जो वक्ता के तौर पर उपस्थित रहकर जो सब्जेक्ट बीके स्कूल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट ने इस विशेष परिस्थिति के अंदर रखा था, उनके संदर्भ में अपने एक्सपीरियंस और सक्सेस स्टोरी युवा दोस्तों के बीच में रखी है। गुजरात विश्वविद्यालय की ओर से मैं उन सभी वक्ताओं का धन्यवाद अदा करता हूं। मेरी बात रखने से पहले सत्य और अहिंसा के संदेश को पूरे विश्व में देने वाले गुजरात के सपूत, भारत की स्वतंत्रता की पहचान महात्मा गांधी को मैं आज उनकी पुण्यतिथि के अवसर पर नमन करता हूं, श्रद्धांजलि देता हूं। युवा दोस्तों को मैं आह्वान भी करता हूं कि गांधी जी के 11 विचार एवं गांधी विचार की कई बातें अपने जीवन में आत्मसात करने का प्रयास करें। गांधी विचार को जीवन में आत्मसात करने में कोई नुकसान किसी को भी उठाना नहीं पड़ता, ये मेरा अंगत मानना है। तो युवाओं को आह्वान है कि गांधी विचार को आप आत्मसात करें। युवा दोस्तों, कोविड-19 का 100 साल के बाद विश्व में आया तूफान थमने का नाम नहीं लेता। पूरा विश्व आज यह कालचक्र में बुरी तरह से फंस गया है। रास्ते ढूंढने का प्रयास पूरा विश्व कर रहा है। एक नए मनुष्य जीवन की तलाश पूरा विश्व कर रहा है। आर्थिक गतिविधियों को सही पटरी पर लाने की तरकीब भी पूरा विश्व सोच रहा है। ऐसे समय में मैं तीसरी बार समय का आपके बीच उद्गार कर रहा हूं कि ऐसे समय पर बीके स्कूल ऑफ बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट ने अंतरराष्ट्रीय युवा सम्मेलन आयोजित करके युवाओं में उत्साह, उमंग, नई सोच देने का कार्य किया है। मैं पुनः सबको, विशेषकर कोऑर्डिनेट करने वाली टीम को धन्यवाद देता हूं। मित्रों, 2 दिन के युवा सम्मेलन के समापन सत्र के पूर्व यानी प्रीवियस सेशन में कोऑर्डिनेशन करने वाली टीम ने 17 वक्ता और यूएन के 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल के संदर्भ में राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस करके सबके विचार प्राप्त किए हैं। पूरे विश्व में 1972 के बाद पर्यावरण की बाबतों को लेकर जो पर्यावरण परिषद मिलती थी, यह पर्यावरण परिषद के अंदर से संपोषित विकास का ख्याल उभर कर आया है। यह संपोषित विकास के संदर्भ में यूनाइटेड नेशन ने 2030 तक इस 17 गोल के संदर्भ में अपनी अवधारणाएं और विश्व के विभिन्न देश इस 17 गोल के संदर्भ में क्या कर सकते हैं, उसका लक्ष्यांक रखा है। मित्रों, मैं आज संपोषित विकास के ऊपर कुछ बात करूं, उसके पहले चाणक्य को आपके सामने रखने का प्रयास करूंगा। चाणक्य ने अपनी अर्थशास्त्र की डेफिनेशन में जो बात की है, अगर वो बात को पूरे विश्व ने ठीक तरह से स्वीकारा होता तो आज यूनाइटेड नेशन को 17 गोल विश्व के समक्ष विभिन्न पहलुओं को लेकर रखने पड़े, वो शायद नहीं रखने पड़ते, ऐसा मेरा मानना है। चाणक्य ने कहा था कि मनुष्य की वृत्ति अर्थ है और मनुष्य के वसवाट की भूमि भी अर्थ है। यह भूमि के लाभ और पालन के उपाय जहां से मिलते हैं वो अर्थशास्त्र है। जो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट का जो ख्याल विश्व के समक्ष आया है, उसके दो डेफिनेशन भी चाणक्य की व्याख्या के आधार पर ही हमको लगती है। 17 गोल जो है वो 17 गोल के संदर्भ में भारत सरकार, हम सब जानते हैं कि विश्व में जनसंख्या के संदर्भ में भारत दूसरे क्रमांक पर है। भारत में 17 गोल के संदर्भ में जो प्रगति होगी वो यूएन के लक्ष्यांक को आगे ले जाने में अवश्य मददरूप होगी। 17 लक्ष्यांक के संदर्भ में मैं बहुत डीप में तो जाना नहीं चाहता, लेकिन गरीबी मुक्त भारत की बात हो, भूख मुक्त भारत की बात हो, जेंडर इक्वालिटी की बात हो, क्वालिटी एजुकेशन की बात हो, गुड हेल्थ की बात हो, तो आप देख सकते हैं बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ, आयुष्मान भारत, गरीबी मुक्त भारत, हमारे यहाँ तो गरीब को दरिद्र नारायण की उपमा दी गई है। जैसे 17 जो लक्ष्यांक है, क्लीन वाटर, सैनिटेशन, अफोर्डेबल एनर्जी, डिसेंट वर्क, इंडस्ट्री इनोवेशन एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रिड्यूस इनइक्वालिटी, सस्टेनेबल सिटीज, रिस्पॉन्सिबल कंजप्शन, लाइफ बिलो वाटर, लाइफ ऑन लैंड, क्लाइमेट चेंज, पीस एंड जस्टिस, स्ट्रॉन्ग इंस्टीट्यूशन, पार्टनरशिप फॉर गोल्स, ये 17 गोल्स के संदर्भ में भारत सरकार विभिन्न कार्य, विभिन्न प्रोग्राम हाल ही के दिनों में चला रही है और हमें विश्वास है कि वो यूएन के लक्ष्यांक को सफल करने में अवश्य मदद करेगी। मित्रों, हमारी संस्कृति के संदर्भ में बात करें तो हम गाय को घास खिलाने वाली संस्कृति के परिमार्जक है, हम पक्षियों को दाना खिलाने की संस्कृति के परिवाचक है। आज भी हमारे घरों में पहली रोटी गाय की बनाई जाती है। तो प्रकृति पूजा, हम पीपल की पूजा करते हैं, हम तुलसी की पूजा करते, हम चांदा को मामा मानते, हम सूर्य को दादा मानते। तो पर्यावरण के साथ भारत का नाता एक परिवार जैसा रहा है। कल हमारे चीफ गेस्ट यूकिन मोंगशो ने अपने प्रवचन में मेंशन किया था वसुदेव कुटुंबकम। मैं उसे दोहराना चाहता हूं। भारत विश्व को वसुदेव कुटुंबकम का संदेश देने वाला देश है। शिकागो के प्रवचन में स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने पूरे विश्व के समक्ष भाई और बहनों के उद्गार से ये वसुदेव कुटुंबकम का जो हमारा संदेश है वो सार्थक किया था। युवा दोस्तों, पूरे विश्व की आशा युवाओं पर टिकी हुई है। आज भारत सर्वाधिक युवा शक्ति का देश है। 21वीं सदी का तीसरा निर्णायक दशक प्रारंभ हो रहा है। इनोवेशन स्टार्टअप के लिए सरकार ने खुला आकाश दिया है। श्री कृष्ण के कर्म के संदेश को आत्मसात करें, विवेकानंद जी के कर्म के संदेश को आत्मसात करें, गुजरात विश्वविद्यालय के ध्रुव वाक्य योग कर्म कौशलम को आत्मसात करें, मैंने जहाँ से प्रारंभ किया था महात्मा गांधी से, महात्मा गांधी जी के वो ग्रेट मैनेजमेंट गुरु के 3 शब्द ट्रूथ, सिंप्लिसिटी, हार्ड वर्क के जरिए समस्याओं का समाधान करें, आर्थिक विकास के नए मार्ग प्रशस्त करें, आर्थिक वृद्धि स्थिरता के साथ करें और ये 2 दिन का मंथन साकार करें। आखिर में एक पंक्ति से मेरी बात खत्म करता हूं। धरती की शान तू प्रभु की संतान, तेरी मुट्ठी में बंद तूफान है, मनुष्य तू बड़ा महान है, भूल मत मनुष्य तू बड़ा महान है। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया। गॉड ब्लेस ऑल। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening words, and they'll remain with us forever. And thank you for ending our session in such a nice way. And thank you for ending it in Hindi. That was very impressive, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Now
you.
it's time for the most awaited session of the entire 2 days, that is the prize distribution. But let's not forget that participation is actually more important than winning. Now I would like to call upon Dr. Neelam Panchal, welcome again, ma'am, to announce and distribute the prizes. Thank you.
So very good afternoon, one and all present over here. And yes, you rightly said, this is the most awaiting moment of the prize distribution. So friends, as we all aware, there were 140 participants, and if you're talking about the tracks, there were majorly 6 tracks in which the participants were divided, and the 7th track was on the what we can say poster presentation. So I would start with track wise. I'm very happy to inform that in all the tracks there were minimum 40 participants, that is 20 papers, 15 to 20 papers were there, and in each track there were around 40 participants, and the judges and they have evaluated the results. So I'm talking about all the tracks and the judges and the results track wise. So track number 1 was on HRM and corporate social responsibility. The judges were Dr. Reena Shah and Dr. Ashish Siddiqui. We thank them for their critical evaluation. So the 3rd prize goes to Bhavesh Kinkabwala, and the paper was on ancient scriptures and teaching of the Jaduguru Adi Shankaracharya and correlation in that, Kinkabwala. The 2nd prize was to Dr. Krishna Kanabar from Nirma University, and the paper was on COVID-19 and need for humanizing online teaching learning experience through communication. The 1st prize for the track HRM and CSR goes to Mr. Parth Rohit, Jayda Parekh, and Dr. Vilas Kulkarni, and the paper was on impact of COVID on the functions of human resource, the winner of track number 1. Track number 2 was on the COVID and digitalization. The judges were Dr. Mamta Brahmbhatt from B.K.School of Professional and Management Studies, Gujarat University, and Dr. Vilas Kulkarni from SP University. And the winners are, the 3rd rank goes to employee branding in digital area to Mrs. Manisha Raval. 2nd prize goes to Griva Chaya and Group, challenges of e-learning from students and teachers' perspective. And the 1st prize goes to Rahim Munshi and Vrinda Patel on adoption of MOOCs and online teaching amidst the COVID-19. Congratulations to the winner of track 2. Track 3 was on the healthcare and education, and the judges were Dr. Kinjal Desai from Gujarat University and Dr. Sunil Dhro from Nehu University. That goes to strategic impact of information systems, that is Dr. Somokanta Singh from Manipur University. Congratulations, sir. 2nd prize goes to Nidhi Gondalia, Hiral Shah, and Richa Soni, and they talk about biodegradable plastic production and its impact on environment. They are the representatives from Gujarat University. Congratulations to the team of Nidhi Gondelia and the group. The first prize goes to Dr. Shah Suraj Manoj Kumar, Dhruv Nitin, empirical study to measure the consumer preferences toward the nutraceutical and dietary supplements in Gujarat. So congratulations to the winner of the Track 3. Track 4 was on social and other issues, and the judges were Dr. Ankita Katharia from Gujarat University, Dr. Ankita Srivastav from PDPU, Dr. Bijal Javeri from Parul University. And the third rank goes to MSMEs impacting on political branding in Generation Y by Mr. Raj Vyas. Second rank goes to Murari Behra, Professor Sarita Agrawal, understanding the rural agrarian distress. And the first prize goes to Mr. Thongchom Pratap Singh, Mr. Govind Singh, and Rajesh Singh from Manipur University. They had a wonderful paper which is also published in the journal Wine Growing as a Sustainable Economic Activity in Empowering Women. Congratulations to the winners of Track 4 and thank you to judges of Track 4. Track 5 was a finance and economics, and the judges were Dr. Mamata Mohapatra from Amity University and Dr. Joy Desai from B.K.School of Professional and Management Studies, Gujarat University. The third prize goes to Factor Affecting Success of Mobile Banking Applications, a Quantitative Approach, Dr. Meenakshi Singla and team. The second prize goes to Devat M. Shah and Darkesh S. Mistry, Digitalized Insurance under current situation in the distribution channel preferences. And the first goes to Dr. Ritesh Patel, Risk Return Trade-off in Indian Stock Market. Evidence from GAP model. His paper also is very excellent and it has gone in journal also. Thank you so much, judges, for your critical evaluation. The next was Track 6, and the judges in Track 6 was Dr. Mehal Pandya from Gujarat University and Dr. Meenakshi Gupta. And the third rank goes to Consumer Awareness Towards Bombo-Based Products, a Step Towards Attaining Environment Sustainability, Dr. Shahi Mishra and Dr. Pratik Kanchan. Second prize goes to Attrition in Hospitality Industry, Julie Patel and Vilas Kulkarni. And the first prize goes to Study of Determinants of the Perceived Experiential Value from Luxury Goods Retail in Ahmedabad City, Dr. Ankita Sharma and group. So congratulations to the winners of Track 6. All tracks, all participants, they have really done nicely, and the review of judges were there. The papers and the presentations of all were very fantastic, but there were 5 criteria on the basis of which this evaluation is done, like relevance of the evaluation in terms of your presentation style, the communication that you have made, and the coverage of the topic and the paper that you have done. So that was about the best paper presentation competition. Now there was another competition called a best paper competition. This best paper competition is in terms of how you have written a paper, what is the quality of the paper. So in that terms, the third prize goes to Dynamic Stop List for Gujarati language using rule-based approach, Chandrakant Patelji and Dr. Jayesh Kumar Patel. Congratulations, professors. This, let me tell you that this is the competition specifically for the faculty members from across the globe. And the second prize goes to Dr. Sameer K. Mahajan from Nirma University. The paper was on accessibility to minimum wage and wage income determinants, a study of the residential and non-residential private security guards in city of Ahmedabad. And the first prize goes to Dr. Sunildro L.S. Aikajam from Dehu, Shillong. And his paper was on economic implication of weekly market participation, a case study of farmers come sellers in Garo Hills of Meghalaya. It was a wonderful paper. Congratulations to you and to Nehu University, Shillong. And that is the best paper competition. And lastly, our student performed in a cultural event, and it is a surprise from them that we have kept judges also there. And the third prize for the cultural competition goes to Skit. Divya Kalal, Viraj Rajput, Sonak Thakkar, Atira Nair, Rita Solanki, Tejaswini Sahu, and Harsh Sharma. So, all the participants of Skit, many congratulations to you. Keep it up. The second prize goes to dancing by Trupti Vyas on Rajasthani Fusion. Congratulations, Trupti, you did very well and fantastic. And the first prize in singing goes to Shweta Bhatt from MBA Semester 2, Gujarat, MBA Semester 3, Gujarat University. So congratulations, Shweta. Doesn't mean that all have not done nicely. All performed very nicely, but the categories were three: dancing, singing, and skit. And in each of the category, we have selected one winner. So congratulations to the student. You have done a fantastic job. For the cultural event, there is a specific prize that I want to announce, and that is Janmejay, Amit, and Sonak. Until unless they have put this effort of coordinating and connecting and making this event, live, it would not have happened. So congratulations to Janmejay and Sonak for this surprise, award to you. And thank you all the students for being participative. In this event, we all know that it's very important to see that the task is operated at a fantastic level, and you all know that IT, the virtual part, is very important. So in addition, we are also announcing the names of few students who have really done very fantastically. Without their support, this event would not have been possible and live to this extent. And so the event coordinators in the senior group, I'm announcing the prizes, and it is a tradition at BK that we are announcing the prizes for the coordination to the senior students and not the junior students who have already joined. But yes, I would name them a few. So the event coordinators of MBA second year students, the award goes to Mohit, Preet, Vandana, Mihir, and Rashmi. Congratulations, and thank you so much for being with me day and night since last 10 days, without which this event would not have been possible. So many thanks and many congratulations to the senior. Of course, I'm not announcing, the winners from the first year students, but yes, Purva and Nikita, you did fantastic job in anchoring. Prashant, Deep, and many more students whose name I might not be naming for now, but the whole batch is doing fantastically, especially the defense students, Rita, and the whole team. You did a fantastic job in the cultural also. So thank you all the students of B.K. School of Professional and Management Studies. And this is all about the award declaration. Thank you so much, Nikita and Puba.
Now we will bid adieu with the hope. Meeting next year in healthier, safer, and better world. Jaldi
Before that,
Vela Aap.
yeah.
Over to you, ma'am, for symposium report and vote of thanks.
Thank you so much. So, at last but not least, I would like to pay my sincere gratitude to one and all present over here. I express my sincere gratitude to the chief guest and guest of honors of this event. Specifically, first of all, thanks to Professor Himanshu Pandya, Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University, Shri Jagdish Bhavsar Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University, Shri Piyush Patel Sir, Registrar, Gujarat University, and Professor Pratik Kanchan, Director, B.K. School of Professional and Management Studies, Gujarat University, for their consistent support, directions, guidance, and also for expanding the freedom to me to execute the mandate. Thank you so much, all the authorities of the university. I am indebted to all the participants from different countries involving India, Afghanistan, Armenia, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Malaysia, Mexico, Myanmar, Nepal, Nigeria, South Africa, Sudan, Uganda, Zimbabwe, South Korea, and many more. I'm also indebted to more than 170 institutes who have participated in this event and who have allowed and permitted their faculty members and students to join the event. I extend my special thanks to all the educational institutes and other bodies who displayed such an enthusiastic participation. A special mentioning of all the national and international scholars, academicians, practitioners, researchers, and participants of International Youth Symposium. Special thanks to all my faculty colleagues, Professor Margi Parikh, Professor Nilima Ruparel, Dr. Mamta Brahmat, Dr. Mehal Pandya, Dr. Jay Desai, Dr. Ankita Kataria, Dr. Kinjal Desai, and all the staff members of the B.K. School of Professional and Management Studies. I am thankful to everyone who have joined the hands with us, and specifically, importantly, now I would like to thank to the jury members and the panel members in each session. So we had inauguration session, and in the inauguration session, we have 9 speakers. The speakers were starting with Yu Kane Mong Siu sir. Secondly, we had with us Mr. Dr. Rinchen Chopel, Puran Pandey sir, V.M. Bansalji, Professor Himanshu Pandya, Dr. Jagdish Bhavsar, and Dr. Pratik Kanchan. Thank you so much, sir, for making inauguration session so live and very interactive. Secondly, during the event, we had plenary session. In the plenary session, we had 3 speakers. Number 1, Dr. Pianand Shokhem from Ubon Rectangular University. Secondly, we had Professor N.D. Mathur and Professor Kongjam from Thailand. Thank you so much for such an interactive and enlightening session. We also had moderator, our own Professor Dr. Nilima Ruparel from Canada, who could join for some time. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us. Next, we had a track sessions, and in each track, it was divided into 6 parts, and it was on different themes. And as I already mentioned, the names of the judges. So all the judges who were part of track 6, we would like to have heartfelt thanks to all of you. And like this, keep in touch with us and let's stay associated. Thank you so much. Then we had a cultural evening in which I would like to propose my thanks to all the students, even in COVID times, some of the students I called and they came, and then jointly we tried to record some of the programs. Some of the programs we tried to connect virtually, and the students participated virtually and given their programs. So thank you so much for the cultural evening. On day two, we started with a roundtable discussion on the Sustainable Development Goals. It was again a very, very huge grand success and a wonderful discussion moderated by Professor Margi Parikh, Gujarat University. And then we had 17 more speakers in the event, which you can see in the screen. These are the 17 speakers who spoke on 17 different goals. And the discussion was so live, so interesting, and so enriching. I thank all the member speakers from different parts of the country, which involves Japan, which involves Canada, which involves, South Africa, and many more. And it was headed, the chair and the chief guest was Dr. Nataraj Ray from ISTD and Dr. A.C. Joshi from ISTD, National President and a Director of Indian Society of Training and Development. We are very, very thankful to all the 21 speakers who were involved at a time on the topic Sustainable Development Goals and giving their overall idea and achievements, roadway ahead, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much. And then we had, lastly, the poster presentation, which was, headed by Ms. Tanya Joseph. She talked first of all in a plenary session an industry-ready youth workforce and entrepreneurs. Such a lively, such an interactive and interesting session. Tanya Joseph ji, thank you so much for connecting with us. And she was also a judge in the poster presentation along with Darshini. So thank you so much, Tanya Joseph and Darshini, for being with always. And thanks for the results for the same. I'm yet to announce the results for the poster, and in the poster, the third prize goes to none other than Purva, who is anchor over here. Okay, so the third prize goes to Purva. Congratulations, Purva. The second prize goes to Prashant from semester 1. So congratulations, Prashant. And the first prize goes to the winner of the poster presentation competition goes to Sanket Vekaria and Forum Doshi. Congratulations, students. You did a fantastic job, and the reviewers' feedback is fantastic. They said that students has brought something new and some new ideas on the reinventing the business management practices for the sustainability and growth. And lastly, all the speakers who are there in this valedictory session, I'm very, very thankful to all the speakers of the valedictory session, starting with Dr. M.K. Sehgal, Dr. Rajiv Pant, Dr. Prabhat Pankaj, Dr. Srini Srivasan from Mumbai, Dr. Jagdish Bhavsar, Dr. P.M. Patel, Dr. Pankaj Shukla, Dr. Pratik Kanchan, and all people who have contributed a huge for the success of the event. We were even very not sure that how the event would go, since it is virtual and first time. We never wanted to miss out any point which we do regularly, and so without cutting any of the part of the event, we tried to do it successfully, and that is all because the support from all the students, all the participants, all the speakers, all the resource persons, all the practitioners, all the industry professionals, the academicians, the teaching fraternity, the directors and the heads of different institutes across the globe, and importantly, the students, the youth, the power of the nation. I wish all of you a grand success and all of you all the very, very best for the future endeavor. And I would like to see you on the same day, same time in the next year, January 29-30 in 7th International Youth Symposium 2022. Thank you so much, everyone. Ending our event over here. Thank you so much, all those who have